Abigail with us today. She is a U.S. bilingual musician, both in English and Chinese. Hey, Abby.
Hey.
Nice to meet you.
How you doing?
Our program.
Thank you for having me.
I've heard that you've been to the Shanghai Expo days ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was just in Shanghai. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, generally speaking, what's your impression about this expo?
To tell you the truth, I wish I could tell you more about what I thought of the expo, but I ended up performing a lot, and it was outside. So my biggest impression about the expo is it's very hot and sweaty. I was just sweaty the whole time, and the whole band was just sweaty. I mean, really, from the moment we got out on the stage, it was like just sweat poured from our body. We were like, our clothes were like a wet rag, you know, and we just had to rock out anyway. So it was kind of inspiring to be in that much heat, but it was also extremely tiring. And by the end of the day, we didn't have any time to go to pavilions. The other thing is that the pavilion lines are very long. So we ended up only getting to see 3 pavilions. We saw Germany, America, USA, and we saw Cuba. And it was a cool experience. And Germany was far and away the best one we saw. It was really impressive. Yeah. So anyway, that was generally the experience. It was so hot.
Yeah. I've heard that for your first time that you came to Shanghai is in 1996, and again this time you came to Shanghai Expo to perform.
Yes.
So during these 2-time trips,
Yeah.
Is there any difference of your impressions you've gotten from these 2 trips?
Yes. Huge difference.
Culturally speaking.
Yeah, 1996 and 2010. Shanghai is a totally different place in my opinion. When I first arrived in 1996, there were probably a third of the skyscrapers that there are now, and honestly, almost the entirety of Shanghai was a crane, and it was a crane building a skyscraper, and dust everywhere all the time. And even the Dongfang Minzu, the Oriental TV tower, was only half built.
What about your interesting points to Shanghai or China?
The just sort of specific
does
things.
Does that change or not?
What I think is interesting about China, has it changed?
Whether or not it has been changed.
You know, it's only changed in the sense that it's grown. It hasn't changed in the sense that I was interested in something at one time and now I'm not. It's more that the more that China changes and grows, I change and grow with it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm.
I know you contributed much to the cause of public welfare. For example, your volunteerism in the post-quake services in Sichuan.
Yeah.
So, will you plan to do such things in future?
Oh yeah. Well, the album that I did after Quake, Zhen Ho. It was such an exciting collaboration with my friend Dave Liang from the Shanghai Restoration Project. I say exciting. I don't know if that's the word, but it was moving. It was a very moving experience, and it all delineated from this time where I was in Sichuan after the earthquake. I had gone there specifically to learn about what had happened to the Sichuanese people, what had happened in the disaster zone, to be there in person, to be there with my friends, you know, and. It was from that experience that I realized that maybe I could do something healing using music. I find music to be such a healing thing for me that I thought maybe this is something I could offer. So I went around to the relocation schools. This was December of 2008. I went around to the relocation schools in Sichuan, a handful of them, supported by an organization called Sichuan Quake Relief. They really made all this happen. And I would play for the students, just big classes of students. And at the end of my performances, I would have just hundreds of kids come up to me. I was in a sea of beautiful children. I'd be trying to, talk to each one. And many times I had little kids come up to me and say, I want to sing you a song. You sang me a song, I want to sing you a song. And they'd sing me these wonderful songs, a lot of pop songs, but sometimes they were traditional songs. And there was this one instance that was very moving, and probably the reason that I came back to China last year and did Afterquake, which was this little girl came up to me after a show and she said, my mom passed away, and she was very shy, and she came and she said, my mom passed away, and it's been very hard. She said, I just really wanted to sing you a song my mom taught me. And as she began to sing it, I just cried. I cried. I'm going to cry now. She was so beautiful. And afterwards, I said, that's just so beautiful. Thank you. And she said, yeah, well, I'm just so afraid right now. I'm so afraid that the earth will just open up tomorrow and swallow everyone. Swallow everyone I know. Why wouldn't it? It already did. And she said, I just have no confidence in the world. I have no faith. 我没有自信. And I thought to myself, well, gosh, if I could just do something to help her have confidence, to help her have faith, I wish I could. And it was a few weeks later when I was back in the U.S. and I thought to myself, you know, maybe I could go back there and make a record and have the kids sing, you know, and then sell the record and make some money and send it back. And with the help of Dave Liang and the Shanghai Restoration Project, together we co-produced an album of the children's voices and stories. Each song is conceptual, and it's a remix. It's not folk music. It's folk songs, but set to remix elements. Because even more important than wanting to make a record that would make money, we also wanted to send back and help people build new homes. We also wanted to make music that the kids themselves would actually love. And in general, I noticed that the kids really listen to pop music. They love pop music. So I ended up making this record with the Shanghai Restoration Project that was really pop music with the kids' voices set to it and stories from each of them. You know, and we've been able to raise a little bit of money and send it back to Sichuan quake relief, and they've built a couple of sports fields, which is really great. Now, in the future, I'm here. I mean, I don't live here, but what I mean is China, Sichuan, is like my very, very, very dear friend. And if something bad happens to your friend, you help them.
Do you believe in the word fate? And how? And what do you think of your connections with China?
Fate. Yes. Oh, where is it? Yeah, can I have a glass of wine while I answer this question? Yes? Okay, great. You should really ask John questions because he's the reason I'm able to play music in China. But maybe that's for another day. You should interview him. Okay, fate, yeah. I believe in fate, yeah. But what is fate? You know, what is fate? I think a fate is like really a combination of two things. It's partly intention. It's partly what we intend to have happen. It's what our heart wishes for. It's that whole thing that be careful what you wish because it might come true. So in a large way, I think fate is what we wish for coming true. However, it might come true, but not the way you think it's going to. And that's the part that's magical. That's the part you can't predict. Your mind can't possibly know what the absolute outcome of your actions is going to be. So there's a natural unfolding that we all have to just surrender to, but with full hearts and good intentions. And I believe that fate unfolds in that way. Yeah, that's what I think. So I think my love for China and the reason I'm here has everything to do with a full heart and intentions and a lot of magic.
A lot of magic.
Wonder. Things I never could have expected or known would happen. Yeah.